Oh, that's a big accident for Kubica.
Oh no! Mark Webber's gone right up there.
They're going to stop the race, no doubt about that at all.
The Formula One World Championship is about to begin, kicking off its first round in Melbourne, Australia. The Australian Grand Prix joined the F1 circuit way back in 1985 and has been the scene of many memorable moments, from the scene of title-deciding races through to some unbelievable crashes. Over the next 5 minutes, we'll be doing a rundown of the 5 biggest crashes seen in the Australian Grand Prix. Before we explore the explosive crashes, make sure to subscribe to the channel to see more exciting Formula One videos like this.
Position, and instead of gaining, he lost because Raikkonen is going to be contact there, surely.
Oh yes there is, there goes Kubica, there goes Vettel, that's the last thing.
The 2009 Australian Grand Prix is remembered for many reasons, from the first win of the Brawn GP race team through to a number of crashes as the season came alive in a big way. Sebastian Vettel and Robert Kubica were determined to get in on the act. In the closing stages of the race, as they battled for position, the drivers came together, taking each other off the track. With damage to both cars, the drivers were determined to continue, and it had big consequences. First, Vettel, with significant front wing damage, lost control of his car, slamming into the crash barriers at high speed. Then, Robert Kubica, who had taken damage to his right front wheel, saw his crash fall apart around him, leading to a huge impact with the barriers. All of the carnage led to the safety car being deployed, with Jenson Button taking the first win of the season following the safety car.
But Ralph's braking catches out Villeneuve with horrendous consequences.
For those that have only recently started watching Formula One, Jacques Villeneuve is just an outspoken Canadian critic, but 30 years ago, he was one of the fastest drivers out there. He was the 1997 Formula One World Champion and 1995 Champ Car winner, including winning the Indianapolis 500. By 2001, he was in the twilight of his career, trying to hold on to former glories, and mistakes started to creep into his performances. The 2001 Australian Grand Prix was no different. Chasing Ralf Schumacher as they approached turn 3 of the circuit, Jacques, in his Bar Honda, misjudged his braking and clipped the rear of Schumacher racing for the Williams team. His car was launched skyward and tumbled towards the gravel trap on the outside of the corner. Debris was sent flying everywhere, into the crowd and towards the trackside marshals. While Villeneuve and Schumacher were able to walk away from the incident, a tragic consequence was the death of Marshal Graham Beveridge, who was struck by debris that pierced the safety fence. Ralf Schumacher is perhaps best known for being the brother of the 7-times world champion Michael. He also had a habit of being involved in major crashes at the Australian Grand Prix, and this time he was the one going airborne. At the start of the 2002 edition of the race, Ralf Schumacher was starting on the second row of the grid. In an effort to take an early lead, he tried to challenge the Ferrari of Rubens Barrichello. However, he miscalculated the closing speed, leading to him striking the rear end of the Ferrari. The collision sent his Williams F1 car flying and led to a chain reaction that wiped out multiple cars, including Felipe Massa, Nick Heidfeld, and Giancarlo Fisichella. The crash forced a red flag, and multiple cars had to retire before even completing one corner, never mind completing a lap. In 2016, Fernando Alonso, the 2-times Formula One world champion, was in his second year of his return to McLaren. Results on the track were poor, and things got a whole lot worse in Melbourne. Heading towards turn 3, sound familiar, Alonso was closing in on Esteban Gutierrez's Haas and looking to overtake. Alonso misjudged the overtaking maneuver and clipped the rear of Gutierrez's car at high speed, sending him into an uncontrollable barrel roll. The crash was truly horrific, and the watching public's hearts skipped many beats as Alonso's car flipped multiple times, smashing into the gravel trap before coming to rest upside down. Esteban Gutierrez, having had the closest view of the incident, was immediately on the radio trying to find out the condition of Alonso. Miraculously, Fernando walked away unharmed despite the car being completely destroyed.
As the car's going up in the air and turning over, and I'm thinking, please don't go in the trees. Hit my best mate, David Coulthard, who had a tangle with Johnny Herbert.
In 1996, the Australian Grand was being hosted at Albert Park in Melbourne for the first time, taking over hosting duties from Adelaide. It was a race that would last long in the memory, but for all the wrong reasons. At turn 3 yet again, there was a huge crash. Won the first lap, the midfield was tightly congested with all the driver battling for position at the start of the race. Racing into turn 3, all the cars were on cold tyres with full tanks of fuel, making the cars hard to control. David Coulthard veered left under braking, and his McLaren hit the side of Herbert's Sauber. Herbert tried to avoid the car and braked heavily. Martin Brundle in his first race for the Jordan team was behind them and unable to slow sufficiently, hitting the rear of Herbert's and Coulthard's cars. His car was launched into the air over the back of the McLaren of David Coulthard and then somersaulted into the gravel trap. Martin later said that he broke his car like an egg, and when he came to rest, the car had disintegrated. But wait. Miraculously, he walked away unscathed, sprinted back to the pits, and jumped into a spare car for the restart. Things didn't get much better for Martin. At the restart, Brundle spun off the track after some light contact with Pedro Diniz and failed to complete a racing lap. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel to see more exciting videos.